Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of The Bowman Show. Today is going to be an interesting one, a good show. We're going to have a talk with a man that founded the frozen tundra. You got that right. Stay tuned.
I'm not, you're cold. You go around like you know who I am, but you don't. You got me on my toes. I'm slipping out, and I'm drinking from your veranda. Baby, you don't take push it higher, 'cause I'm burning up for you, baby.
We are live here today with William Seward, the man that purchased Alaska from Russia. I know what you're thinking. Why would anybody want Alaska? Especially back in the 1800s. Everybody thought it was just this frozen tundra. What could it offer the United States? There's many questions, and people thought it was a big waste of money. So, put your hands together for William Seward, baby! Woo! All right, William, how you doing today, buddy?
Well, I'm doing good. I'll tell you what, many consider me the Iceman, but don't call me Chuck Liddell.
Whoa, okay.
I ain't throwing haymakers in a cage, but I'm throwing haymakers across the world. I'll tell you what, American imperialism.
Wow, I tell you what, that's a good start to the show. I love the Chuck Liddell reference. I love how you called yourself the Iceman, because many people thought your purchase, your destined expansion of the United States of purchasing Alaska from Russia, they call it Seward's Folly or Seward's Icebox.
Look at me now.
Look at you now, right?
Look at me now, huh?
Look at you now. I mean, I want to get into it today. Why did you think Alaska was such a great purchase? Like, what did you think at the time it had to offer?
Well, Mr. Bowman, when I became the Secretary of State in 1861, and I looked at, the United States throughout history, throughout the 1850s, where we weren't quite where we wanted to be with industrialization, and the best way for us to be a powerhouse is to expand our territory in the Western Hemisphere.
All right, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up about imperialism. It just seems that the United States is always trying to reach that level where the European countries are at. All right, so through the 1850s, going up to the 1900s, these European countries were imperializing these areas throughout the world. And it was your goal to do this in the Western frontier, out into the Western Hemisphere. And I just think that's important, especially for the United States to become this dominant power. Is there any words on that, William?
Yeah, I think that was always the goal, right? Was to make sure that we were staying competitive with resources, territory, land, etc. So, why should these countries from Europe, who are on the other side of the world, take over all the land and territory and resources right here in the Western Hemisphere? We wanted to establish ourselves as the number one most dominant power within our own hemisphere over here in the western side of the world.
Awesome. So that's like the United States playground. This is our playground. There's no one else allowed to come here, right?
Yeah, you got to be good in your own backyard.
Awesome.
And to add on to protecting our own backyard, I'll tell you what, we wanted to double down on what was already established in the Monroe Doctrine. We wanted to rid the Western Hemisphere of all these European countries. With that being said, I have a little message from one of our largest corporations now. Let's hear it.
This is our house. Everything you have trained for your entire life has prepared you for this moment. We talk of words such as pride, heart, poise, and toughness. Are these just words, or is that who you are? Courage is not about being scared, it's about being terrified, but persevering anyway.
Alright, man, let's go. 1st and 10, and they're in an ace set. They're not gonna throw the damn football, you got me? That's what we're looking for. That's Under Armour football. Let's go! It's us! First step.
Let's run it again! Let's go, baby! All I want to talk about is how big they are, and that this is the year they knock us off! Well, when they come in here, they gotta play our game in our house, and nobody beats us in our house.
We must protect this house!
You know, William, that was a very interesting commercial you just played there. That relates very well of how the United States is expanding out into the West and really trying to eliminate the confrontation with these European countries and how we became this imperialistic country in the world and how we need to start first in our backyard, okay, with Manifest Destiny and how we're claiming these lands and these territories to try to push these European countries out of our territory, out of our home ground. And I just think that commercial really fits well with exactly how the United States is becoming this dominant power in the 1860s. All right, William, just want to go into the purchasing of Alaska. Okay, we already mentioned before that you purchased it from Russia. And let's just talk about it a little bit. How much did you buy it from them for?
So the purchase was actually for $7.2 million. That equates to just around $120 million today. So, you know, you look at what we bought, and some may say, what a deal, right? I mean, if you take the square footage of land from Alaska and you put it on a map, it's just as big as the continental United States. So for that price, to get that much land, we almost doubled in size with one single purchase.
Awesome. And let's just say it was a steal, right?
Total steal, total buy.
You're rambling and gambling with them, aren't you?
That's right, that's right.
All right, yeah, so obviously you purchased this land for a small chunk of change. Not too bad, not too risky, but at the same time, it had a lot to offer. Like you said, square miles. It was comparable to continental United States. Well, it is. And this was just following the Monroe Doctrine, trying to push one of those European countries out of the Western Hemisphere. And let's talk a little bit about what the territory of Alaska actually has to offer. And let's face it, I mean, a lot of people were calling this a huge blunder, that this was land that you bought that really doesn't make any sense. No one knew exactly what this territory of Alaska had to offer. So tell us, what does it have to offer?
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of my critics believed that it was a very questionable decision at the time, and the mindset was pushing one of those European countries out of the Western Hemisphere to what your point was. And, you know, we look at the territory today and as a state, and we say, okay, well, first off, what a great territory for all sorts of resources like timber, gold, oil, natural gas. You know, did we know that at the time? No. But we took our chances. You said about gambling and rambling. We really did gamble on this, and it paid off with all of those resources. And not to mention, I'll tell you what a great vacation spot for people that live in the continental United States.
Oh, yeah.
Great destination.
If you're a big fisherman, you're a big hunter, you go up to Alaska.
Very great with the wildlife.
Very beautiful.
Yep. And you know, talking about wildlife in areas that you can obviously utilize, we are also utilizing it as a large military base, right? So, you know, what a way to train our troops up in Alaska to know how to deal with harsher weather. Also, what a way to keep an eye on, you know, Russia and all these eastern countries with having a presence where we're so close geographically, militarily over there in Alaska.
Awesome. I mean, you can't say it any better. It was a gamble at first. A lot of people criticized you over this, but hey, it paid itself tenfold, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's face it. I don't think a clip really memorizes and captures this scenario any better. And hey, to all your critics,
just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
oh, Dumb and Dumber, what a great movie.
What a great movie.
That is a knee slapper right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm the one laughing now at all those critics. You know, we buy Alaska in 1867, and almost 100 years later, 1959, became a state and part of the United States of America.
Wow. I tell you what, that's probably one of our best podcast interviews we had in a while. Hey, I really appreciate being on the show today. William Seward, Seward's Icebox, Seward's Folly. Look who's laughing now.
The Iceman.
The Iceman. Woo! All right, well, there you have it, kids. That was a great interview with William Seward, the man that purchased Alaska from Russia. And he was just following that Monroe Doctrine now, is already established. Let's rid the western frontier of these European countries. Let's make this our own playing ground, where we can just try to alleviate all the confrontations, the problems with European countries. And let's just use the resources that is available in these lands and these territories. And as we see it, the United States is becoming a more dominant, superior power in the world. And let's face it, Alaska's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, guys, stay tuned for next time. Have a good day. Stay positive. Stay safe. See you next time.